Hello, all. Welcome to actual play of Blade 68. We are the Duskers Against War Crimes, or DOC, at least until we get a better name. I'm Sean Nittner. I use he, him pronouns. I'm playing Hollis, the veteran who was at war and only has nightmares about it and wants to stop it from happening again. How about you, Mo?
Hey, I'm Mo. I am playing Kitty, the swinger. Basically, she's a student who has a daddy in the military who she's not a fan. I mean, I guess she kind of likes him, maybe. I don't know, but like what he does, definitely not. So that's what she's doing. Karen.
Hello, I'm Karen. I'm playing Cross, who was a former journalist and is now the Hound. My character sheet refuses to maximize.
Rude.
This is
Rude.
an issue with Roll20.
Yeah, sometimes it happens.
All right. Yeah, was a journalist, but got kicked out for telling the truth.
Oh, no, she got too close to the truth.
Yeah. And we are led by our fearless leader, Tim.
Kia ora, I'm Tim. I use he, him pronouns. And yeah, today we will be playing Blade 68 and continuing this ongoing series. And tonight we'll do the score that we've been building up to last session. And then maybe do a bit of, this might be the last session, so we might do a bit of kind of a couple other things at the end, like the secondary score and some other fallout. But basically, we're just going to get to the score.
Yeah.
So it's probably worth recapping what that is. So this is a score against the Ministry of Discovery, who are tier 4. I think we agreed the client was the Palace, who are secret intelligence.
Yeah, I think it was Eves are, even though the Palace doesn't love us as a whole, Eves is sympathetic to us. And she was in when we got back to our base, which is Cross's office, private detective office, private investigator office. Eves was there to tell us kind of the lowdown and wanted us to slow down the whole Blue Raker 5 operation.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And I think specifically the angle was Hollis had a friend called Brackley, who's one of these sort of astronauts or test pilots. And so you're going to go in and extract Brackley and probably the other pilots as well. The Palace's angle is they would like to debrief those people, or for them it's kind of 2 for 1, like they can slow down this whole project that they're not involved with and they can hopefully get some intelligence. Now, obviously, your angle is more to free these pilots because you know that the plan, unbeknownst to the pilots, is to turn them into hulls before launch, to kind of strip out their soul and put it in a robot.
Yeah. What a grim thing to be the requirement, and what a horrible thing to not tell someone that's going to happen. Just like, oh yeah, hey, go sit down in this chair. This might feel a little bit strange.
And I think we sort of touched on maybe blowing up the rocket or sabotaging the launch. That's certainly up to you. You're not being paid for it, but if you want to.
Well, I think that there is a degree of stealing the technology the Scorpion Syndicate said they wanted that might be useful. And Tim, you put a big rocket. You put a big picture of rocket in Discord, and I want to blow it up. So maybe, who knows?
How dare you put art of the thing that's like, yes, that thing is going to go boom.
Yeah. But it's certainly not a mission objective or a score objective. I feel like would be a way to get a lot of heat.
Yeah, and to probably even piss off the Palace or your client, but you'll still get paid, which is like a core Blades thing. You always get paid. So do what you want to is what I would say. So last time as well, Cross sort of staked out the Ministry of Discovery HQ in Charter Hall and figured out that that's where the secret launch facility was, underneath there somewhere. And also that the pilots seem to live and work there because they come and go, but not very much. So you know that that's where the pilots are, that's where the rocket is. You figured out what uniform they wore, and you went to a department store and got a kind of off-the-shelf
we went to Dungeons and Night Market. And
we got a tailor.
We paid money for that good stuff.
Quite a stacks, yeah.
We dropped stacks for that.
Yeah. And there was a fun stakeout moment with Cross and Hollis talking about how responsible this is. And the answer is you're not her dad. So Kitty can make choices for herself.
Yep. And in terms of additional objectives, you agreed to plant a listening device on Brainwave 60, which is a spark mind construct that the Ministry of Discovery has somewhere down there. So just keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. That's a +1 stack thing. So if you fail to do it, you take -1 stack payout. But if you do it, you get +1 stack. Yeah, so that's everything. I think we can get to it in a second. I would like to do some titles like last time. This time I'd like a shot of your character getting ready for the score, whatever they do, whether that's like armoring up or getting in the zone, relaxing, pumping up, whatever it happens to be for your character. Maybe we'll start with Kitty. What does Kitty do before a score to get in the zone?
I think she has the music on really loud, just to just get into a vibe and sort of like dancing around. Yay! Dancing around, and it's like, I guess because we are getting in those suits, like she's she's zipping up the suit as she's like sort of like dancing about, and like touching up her, like she's still wearing makeup. She will not take it off for anyone. But yeah, she's just hyping herself up, like be like, all right, we're gonna do this thing and we're gonna have a good time.
Love it. Then we see a man with long black hair and a mustache. He's dressed in a white safari suit with a green neckerchief. He's sitting down at a red check chessboard, which is kind of like chess or checkers or something. And on the other side of the board is a huge reel-to-reel 1960s style computer with tapes spinning. And this seems to be his opponent in this game of red check. Hollis.
Nice. I think one thing we see is Hollis, trying on the new scarf that he got with Kitty while they were on the shopping. Their shopping spree together. It's hand knit scarf that he also got at Dungeons along with the flight suits. So there's a moment of like Kitty doing makeup and Hollis like kind of scooching in to get to the mirror for a second to see how it looks, because there's some vanity. But when it comes to the like gearing up part of the we cut to Hollis like putting on the suit and seeing where there's sort of bagginess, and then like pulling it down and like strapping a gun there. And I took the Arsenal special ability, which is that you just have extra load that you can carry and just always have an extra gun. And so there's a gun slaps attached, hidden in the leg blades. There's guns hidden in various places. There's ready who knows what all stuff is being hidden, but he's figuring out what he can hide inside this flight suit without it looking conspicuous.
Yes.
Yeah, love it. And then we see a woman with black hair and dark skin. She's dressed in a black turtleneck and overcoat, kind of military style, submachine gun in one hand. She's sneaking down a hallway of rough-hewn stone. She's pausing at the corner to listen in a sort of stealthy, sneaky kind of way. And Cross.
What is Cross doing in this current moment?
Getting ready for the score.
Yeah, she is at the the punching bag. And she's got like her knuckles taped up, and she's going far too hard in that way where you're just like, are you tiring yourself out before the job? Yes, that's what it looks like.
Nice.
Awesome. And then finally we see Major Bowman, who's Kitty's dad, in full military uniform. He's striding down a corridor flanked by aides and underlings. Yeah.
Oh, no.
So
Here it comes.
So let's get into the score. You could do more, gathering information or whatever if you want, or we could just get to it. You can always flash back to that stuff. We could cut straight to the engagement roll.
I feel like we sort of know what we want to do. We have a target. We have an approach. I feel ready to jump to an engagement roll.
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. Okay, let's move to the scoreboard.
Scoreboard.
Oh.
So there's some blacked out areas redacted.
Hold on, I gotta zoom out real quick to see what this is about.
But in the top left, you'll see a loose, not really a map, it's just a loose association of things that you would know are on the ground floor of the Ministry of Discovery Research Complex. So you know that the secret launch hangar is under the complex or in the complex somewhere.
Right.
You don't know where, but everyone would know that on the ground floor of this one-story building, there's a public exhibition hall, there's like an innovation lab, there are conference rooms, there's a big reception and information center. So this above ground bit is not like, I mean, you still needed a pass to get in, but it's not like top secret.
Right.
I found a picture of what I think these spacesuits look like. So I think it's this kind of like...
Nice. Oh, that's such a
kind of
good
thing.
vibe.
Which is actually
Love
pretty
it.
good for you because it kind of covers the face a bit, because obviously there's only 4 of these pilots, so you obviously don't look like...
Oh,
Right.
are we wearing these?
Yeah, this is what the official pilots wear. So
Yeah.
Okay, I thought we were wearing like a. I was thinking like not like a flight, like like full on, like we're going to spacesuit. I was thinking like a mechanical
jumpsuit, isn't it?
jumper. Yeah,
Yeah.
like a
No. The reason why we went with this was that the pilots were the least scanned. Like
right. Okay.
when we were staking out, we saw that the regular staff, they had like their badge, like someone would look at their badge and like check their ID, and they would like grab the badge and be like, "Is this you? Is this you?" Whereas the pilots, they seemed to just kind of wave them in, right? Like there was some level of checking, but it was very perfunctory or cursory compared to everyone else. So
Okay.
so yeah, sorry, Kitty, it does look ridiculous, but it's okay. You're gonna look amazing the moment you take the helmet off. Like it'll be fine.
that's a good reveal.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna have helmet hair. I told you this. It's gonna be all flat. It's gonna be ruined.
In terms of the building itself, I'm definitely thinking like the TWA,
Oh,
JFK
yes.
Airport, the kind of swoopy lines and a lot of white and glass and steel.
Nice.
Perfect.
And this is over in Charter Hall, which is sort of the northwest of Night Market, I think. And it's kind of the governmental district, city councillors over there, and a few important ministries like this one. So you have government workers kind of hurrying about, and the electroplasmic fusion station is here, as well as the blue array, which is this big weird device that towers overhead and creates the bubble and creates blue time and all this stuff. So that's kind of the context. And so, yeah, this is the Ministry of Discovery Research Complex, which is near Charter Hall University, quite a large group of buildings. And with all that said, let's do the engagement roll. So what is your approach? I mean, I feel like we already kind of know it from the suits, but
I feel like it's stealth or deception. I think it's deception, because we are not trying to necessarily sneak in. We are using the suits and sort of like having staked out when the pilots come and go as a plan to like walk in plain sight, like hide in plain sight. So that feels like it's a deception plan.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep, that tracks. And so the detail or opening gambit for deception is the misdirection or disguise. So in this case, we know the disguise is these suits that you have.
Yep.
Right, so that's easy. And so the next thing is to choose your loadout. Are you going quiet or loud? Now, going loud doesn't mean this plan doesn't work. Like, it's going to come down to the engagement roll either way. I mean, it's really a question of load and heat, I guess, mainly. Going loud might be a negative to the engagement roll, but then you have more resources to draw upon during the score. So
I feel like, I mean, loud usually means, then Tim, tell me what you think. Loud usually means fairly kitted out and like you look like you're strapping. But in these flight suits, I feel like we can hide an awful lot. So first question is, does the flight suit itself take load? Like is it a 1 load, 2 load kind of?
I don't think it does, because you're just wearing it. If you wanted to change to something else, I think that second change of clothes would be a load. But I'm not imagining these take a load, no.
Yeah.
And I tend to agree that you kind of have fictional justification for going loud.
Yeah,
but like I said, I think it probably would be a negative to the engagement roll.
Okay.
But that's not the end of the world, and maybe it's worth it.
Yeah. How do you all feel? Do you want to take a risk by bringing in more stuff, or do you want to try and be quieter?
I think we can go quiet. I'm not sure how much gear we need.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll go quiet.
Okay. So if you have a character sheets up, just click the quiet box.
Yeah,
you can remember how much load you have available. And we'll go through the little engagement roll, which is per blades in the dark. So I have the book up here, page 128. Engagement roll starts with 1D. Is this operation particularly bold or daring or complex or contingent? I kind of feel like it is kind of bold and daring. You're just walking in the front door with flat suits on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it's bold and daring. I think it's,
Oh, for sure.
yeah.
So that is 2D. Does it expose a vulnerability of the target? Again, I feel like you did the stakeout work. You figured out who comes and goes and what uniforms they wear, and then you got the uniforms. I feel like having done that legwork, that is also worth the bonus die.
Love it.
So I reckon another plus 1D for that. So that's 3D. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight?
I feel like Eves would have, knowing that we're doing this, I feel like Eves would have given us as much information as possible to make this mission successful. We're doing it on behalf of the palace, and I'm sure the palace has info on the Ministry of Discovery, since they have been clearly willing to kill a whole airship worth of people to get that information. I imagine that they have info about getting inside, things like that.
I agree. So that takes you up to 4D. Are any enemies or rivals interfering in the operation? I mean, we know Major Bowman is we don't know. Major Bowman is around.
Yeah.
But he is military. If the military is there, so that is an enemy in a way.
That's true, but the thing is, I don't think at this point that they're interfering, because I don't think anyone knows you're doing this, right?
That's
None of your
true.
enemies or rivals know necessarily.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not trying to. He is
They're
my
just-
rival, but he's not.
They're not interfering with your engagement, is my feeling.
Yeah.
But they're certainly higher tier, so I feel like that's minus 1D, so that's down to 3D. And then someone I noted down, I can't remember who, got a harm complication of shaken. I think it was Kitty, maybe.
What? How dare you say it was? Hold on, let me take a look here real quick. I don't have any harm right now, so
Yeah, there was a harm complication from last time. I noted it down
Yay.
for someone.
I think it was from the scratches.
yeah, I think it was
That's right. Yeah. So you're a bit shaken from your sort of first proper score, and so that's another minus 1D. So that takes you down to 2D engagement roll altogether.
Cool.
Everything's fine. This is great.
That's awesome.
Pretty good. So does someone want to roll that? You can actually roll it off the crew sheet if you have that up, or you can just roll 2D6 in the chat.
This
Someone
goes
wants
not
to
it.
volunteer.
What's that?
This goes not it.
All right. Engagement roll. Here we go. There we go. That's the situation.
This is
Classic.
fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
There's no bad engagement rolls. Desperate rolls get you XP.
That's right.
That is
That's right.
true.
Yeah, it's all worth it. Yeah,
I don't
awesome.
know. We could have gotten more dice than that. So I feel like we kind of exploited the.
I agree.
We exploited as many advantages as we could.
Yeah.
Here.
I agree.
So,
It's just a high tier enemy. What are you going to do?
yep.
So let's cut to where things start to get interesting. I've got a few more reference pictures of the inside of the TWA building, just so you have a mental picture. But this kind of public part is a lot of sort of open, like concourses and multi-tier kind of mezzanines and like big expansive hallways with red carpet and white curving walls and things like this.
We're gonna fit right in.
Just walking in our suits, just don't mind us. Just
And so the first part is you coming up to, again, there's kind of a map on the screen here, but over here it's reception and information center in the sort of southern part of the building, and kind of like a flight terminal. There's sort of 4 booths, and people are. This is quite a busy building. There are hundreds of people around, and people are lining up to go through one of these security checkpoints. But I think, as I described last time when you were staking it out, it's high security for regular people. They're getting ID checked and whether they have an appointment. But the 3 of you roll up, and you're pretty much just waved through. So that's good. The flight suits work. The people assume you're meant to be here, and you're waved through into the middle of the Ministry of Discovery Research Complex. And again, big open area. From here you can see like admin offices. You can see, so the innovation lab is like a very performative. There are like people in white lab coats working on nonsense behind glass walls. So it's like you can see the innovation happening is kind of the idea. There's a big cafeteria. There's a public exhibition hall with model cities of Duskfall and the city of tomorrow, this kind of thing. The thing you don't see, obviously, is any obvious classified section. So the first obstacle is you don't know where to go from here.
Right.
And the reason you are in a desperate position is that as you kind of come through security, do you have your dog with you, Cross? You can if you want.
No,
it's up to you.
I don't
Okay.
think so. Although
Also,
probably he's in the van in the parking lot. So
I was going to ask if we took the van, because I wouldn't take my auto.
Oh, yeah.
Autobus only had 2 for anyways, but
oh yeah,
it
no,
sticks out so much.
I feel like our peeps are in the van.
Yeah, I think
with
Sharice
dudes.
is out back with is in the lot with our gang and your dog ready to go.
Your cohort, your gang is
I
actually
whistle from a distance that is way too far for a dog to hear, but then he'll show up maybe.
Yeah, that tracks. But your cohort is actually on a secondary school right now.
That's
right.
They went to the cookout. Yeah.
Yeah. With police and blue coats and night market.
Yeah.
We'll find out how that goes after this. But so that's kind of the situation. The reason you're in a desperate position, just to make that clear, 4 a.m, is that as you're in this big space with mezzanines and concourses and different levels, Kitty, you immediately notice military entourage moving at an upper level, and you spot your dad. So your dad is in the building on some kind of tour. The reason it's a desperate position is if he spots you, he's going to see right through the disguise, and this whole situation kind of blows up immediately.
Yeah,
Right.
I think she spots him and immediately turns. And she's like, oh shit, 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 oh shit.
And obviously these suits are bulky and probably not super easy to move around, but Hollis tries to Hollis puts his hand on your shoulder and says, "It's okay, Kitty." He doesn't know what you saw. He just assumes that you're afraid because there's military people up there. He's like, "It's okay, Kitty. We planned for this. There's so little visibility here. They're barely going to see through our visor. We'll just walk right past them."
Hollis, that's my dad.
Bowman's here?
That's him.
Oh, okay. Never mind. You should be panicking. This is bad.
Thanks.
All right. We need to find some stairs down. We know it's in the basement.
Yeah.
We need to find some stairs down quickly. Cross, you see anything? Do we have you know what? I bet
I have a random question real quick because I was thinking about this. Since Kitty was born and raised in Dustfall as a military child, but also someone who went to school here, could I do I don't know if it's a flashback or I don't know what happens of her going on a tour, a school trip here at one point.
I love that.
And so she kind of remembers, but maybe doesn't exactly remember where everything is, but she hasn't she's been here before.
Yeah,
is
that's really
that a
fun.
flashback or
We have also gotten info from Hollis's friend that we know is one of the pilots.
I don't think we got in touch with Bexley. I don't think
that's right. Yeah,
I don't think we have talked to him. We saw him and I went, "Oh, that's my friend,"
we didn't. So I feel like we could flash back to talking to Brackley, and 1, getting the layout, and 2, maybe telling him not to come to work today.
Oh, okay. We could have caught him on the way out. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love either of those. I think we should start with Moe's because you said it first, and it sounds really cool. And flashbacks to 10 years ago are very cool. So
yeah, I love it. So I have put a 4 o'clock on the board here. I think that's the 4 o'clock to find the sort of classified section. So it might take a couple of actions here anyway.
Yeah.
So for the flashback, I mean, I don't really want to roll for what 10-year-old Kitty did or whatever.
Okay, but maybe it was a high school, so maybe it wasn't
whatever it's. But I love the flashback, and I think what it does give you is if you pay 1 stress for the flashback, I think that'll give you great effect.
Oh, boom.
Too,
yeah.
Because you have this memory. I think there should still be an action roll in the present as you try to move through the space and find the right section, but you'll have great effect because you have this memory to kind of draw upon. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Feels like we should do something like a group survey or a group study or some sort of action like that where all of us are working to
That's fun. Yeah.
to like because radio communicators are zero load things that we absolutely could have in us, so we don't have to like physically be right next to one another. We can all, like one of us can be like waving at some kids, like pretending like we're part of the innovation lab thing as we're feverishly scanning for where stairs are and that sort of thing, and we can split up and then reconvene.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Kitty's going to the furthest part where she saw her dad. She's going in the opposite direction.
So I still think great effect with Kitty's memories.
Yeah,
placed, right?
You get us started. You get us in the right direction. Yeah.
But who's leading this group action, and what action are you collectively rolling?
How do people feel? The leader is the one who can take the stress if we do poorly. I am happy to.
It would be survey, wouldn't it, though, for what we're doing?
I feel like survey is the right.
Yeah, it could survey location or situation. But
it could be a study or a hunt. I mean, you're looking for something specific, so I can see a hunt.
I like hunt. I like hunt a lot.
Because you're getting information about its location.
Yeah. Hunt. Yeah, is hunt a target? Gather information about its location. Yeah. I'll lead a hunt.
I could even see hunt, or even a prowl in terms of sneaking around. But yeah, I mean, any of these really. So you want to do a hunt? Lead a hunt?
Yeah. Is everyone down with that? Cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So it's desperate. So you all mark 1 XP. So that's good.
Yay. Nice.
So it's going to be desperate. Great. And
I decided to fill up my bottom bar for another advancement. So.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
I guess I'll take another one.
Yeah, go for it.
Because we also did take one. We did take an extra one in between games.
Took one in between just for fun.
What did everybody else take? Just so we're on the same thing. What I took was Here Goes Nothing.
All right. Well, we have a success. It's a mixed success.
Nice.
It's a success. Yeah. So Kitty took Here Goes Nothing, which allows you to use 2 stress and use sway in place of any other roll, which is awesome. And I took Walking Arsenal, which means I have extra load, and I always can have a gun. And Cross, you took. Was it?
I took Hound's Instincts.
Yeah. To push yourself to always have a lead, or to make someone listen to you for a few moments, no matter how untimely it is. All right. Okay. I've got us a solid 4. That means we succeed with consequences. So I'd love a better roll than that, but at least we haven't.
Yeah. When you're ready, you should all roll Desperate, Great, Hunt. You can push yourself if you want.
We're all rolling it. Okay.
Yeah. Group
wait,
action,
what we're rolling?
Hunt.
Desperate, Great, Hunt.
And so I've got a 4 o'clock for finding the section. I'm also going to put on a 6 o'clock for the. Let's just call it.
Speaking of my new move, can I use Here Goes Nothing as like my hunt? Because I have nothing in hunt right now.
Absolutely.
If I take 2 stress, I can use the rest away to roll for the thing.
Yeah.
And
do you want to click do you have that up? Do you want to click the bell next to that or put it in the chat?
How do I click the bell?
There's like a little bell icon.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. There we go.
So the idea with that is that use a free flashback to reveal who convinced you to teach this particular technique, probably at a party. So the idea is people and are friendly with people. And so someone at some point, so the reason you're rolling sway is because you sort of picked up the skill socially. But it's a skill that someone else kind of lent to you, if you like.
Yeah, so I think the flashback is that, late party one night. And it's, people are like sort of winding down. There's probably like people crashed out everywhere. But, Kitty's still up, like having a good time. And like this guy's like, pointing out like differences and just keeping your eyes open. And like, she's, enjoying life. And like, who knows what she's on. And like, she's like, yeah, I got to keep my eye on things. That's exactly what I got to do.
Nice.
And so I think that's how she learned.
Perfect. So roll sway, desperate, great.
Sway, desperate, great.
And mark 1 experience. Anyway,
no bonus dice, but like, okay. Ooh.
All right.
All right. We're up to a 5. That didn't cause me any stress, which I appreciate, but we're still at
You're welcome.
consequences. Still a mixed result. So
Well, I also have 0 dice in hunt. So we're just going to go for it.
Eager to say, let's roll hunt, but sure.
Yeah.
That's fine.
What's the worst that can happen?
I take stress and we get nibbling consequences. That's what happens.
Wah, wah.
There you go. So take 1 stress.
It's just fine. You're
Sorry.
good.
It's fine. I'm fine. Hollis is a cool cucumber. He doesn't spook that easily.
Well, I'm already at 3, so
Oh yeah.
So that's 3 ticks. So you've almost found the thing. What do you think this looks like from your point of view?
I know for Hollis, it would be blending in, finding a way to blend in so that we have the time to watch other people. And so I think I'm going to go with my initial idea of like literally standing in front of the innovation lab and like waving at kids as they go by. Like I'm part of the I'm part of the performance part of it, and just using that to buy time and watch people as they are moving along until we see somebody who's going down some stairs or somebody who looks official and they tuck into a door or something like that. That's what it looks like for me.
Cool. You were at 3 out of 4 clock ticks. You're almost there. I think the thing you see is that people who are obviously VIPs, either from the uniforms or their passes or just the way they carry themselves. Perhaps this is Cross's stakeout hound kind of eyes coming into effect as well, even though Cross failed that role. You see those people heading towards the archives now, so you kind of have a general direction, and you think once you head over there, you should be able to find what you're looking for. There is a desperate consequence here, which is 2 things. One, Kitty, and you make eye contact with your dad from across this big open space, and it's at a distance, and you're in the spacesuit, so it's not like he is immediately shouting out your name, but he does a double take and starts making his way in your general direction. He's up on a mezzanine, so we have to go down some stairs.
Oh dang! How do you?
Yeah, it's the mask isn't like all the way like opaque, and like it got to where it was not in the glare for a hot second. He saw my face.
I don't even think he knows for sure, but it's that thing of like, oh, isn't that? That can't be right.
That looks like my daughter. Yeah.
Why is my daughter in a spacesuit here?
So you're going to stay in a desperate position as he comes over to investigate. I'm just going to put 3 ticks on the alert clock. One of you can resist that if you want.
Now we can resist that if we want.
Okay. How do I guess I'll resist it because he's
any of us can. One of us can protect you, or you can resist, or we can both do it because I don't know that. Now you might have actually something, Kitty. Do you have mojo as a swinger? I feel like
I have a mojo actually. So it's because I got an XP. I think not this past round, but the roll before for the survey or the hunt, aka sway or something. I don't know. Anyways, I grabbed smooth. So twice per score, you may use your mojo to resist a consequence of submission or social faux pas to put just to push yourself when talking your way out of a tight spot or driving under pressure.
Yeah.
That absolutely applies, yeah. Do you want to use some mojo here?
Oh my god, yes.
So if you scroll up like next to your healing clock, there's a tiny little section that says resources and it says armor and mojo. And
God, I did not realize that. I'm gonna click one of those.
You can check on your mojos and that will
clicking on my mojo.
Yep.
All right, great. That resists it down to 2 ticks. How does Kitty's mojo, like, is this just a nonchalance or what's the?
Oh yeah, she's gonna trying to blend into the crowd. Probably find some other helmets that are like bouncing around in the crowd with her, and probably not these 2. It's just gonna just hang out with them and just act casual, like nothing's happening, and just inside, hearts pounding out of her chest, being like, oh god, so close. You can't find me. There's so many of us here.
Perfect. Were you going to resist as well, Hollis? Sure.
I have an idea for resisting that involves 1, Kitty, you telling us that you see him, and 2, Cross being willing to be part of the resistance. You don't have to put any stress, but The way I want to resist is at some point I like we orchestrate a switcheroo, and so when he does a double take and he looks, he sees Cross instead. Oh, it's another woman that I saw in a flight suit. It's not because I don't want him to see me because he knows me too. But and like he wouldn't mistake me for Kitty, but he might mistake you for Kitty if he barely saw you. So I'm like, okay, on three, right as some people are like shuffling by, I like over on the radio, I'm like, okay, on three, switch places. And so then when there's another glance, he sees Cross and is like, who he doesn't know, and it's just another woman, and like maybe doubts himself, like, oh no, that's not my daughter, that's just some other person.
Yeah, awesome. I think that sounds like an insight resist to me.
Yeah.
So that does work. So that resisted down to 1 tick. He's no longer at all sure whether he saw Kitty, but there's still there's still 1 tick. There's still a little.
All right. That was
3 stress. Not great.
Not great. That's fine.
Yeah, he still has piqued his curiosity, but he's no longer sure what he saw. So it's just 1 tick on the alert clock.
Great.
You are still in a desperate position. You've almost, you think, it's somewhere in the area of the archives, so lots of filing cabinets and metal shelves in the kind of southeastern portion of this huge facility. How do you want to sort of complete this search?
I think one of us should just walk in, and that could be a prowl move of like waiting until no one notices you and sneaking in, or that could be a sway sort of like, I belong here, I'm in charge, like kind of having sort of swagger to like be hide in plain sight, or another action. But I feel like I think at this point, once we've found the archives, I guess we could do another group action because we're all trying to get there. But I think it could be either of those two would make sense. Would be to just sort of like walk confidently and look like we know where we're going, or to be sneaky sneakers. Do either of those sound? I am good at prowl and no good at swag. So I have one that I'm decent at and one that I'm not at. But
yeah, I could do prowl.
I got a dice and prowl. Let's do this.
All right. Sounds
Okay.
good.
Who is leading this one?
Yeah.
Probably not Hollis at this point, right?
Yeah.
Cross, did you want to lead it or?
Yeah, I'll lead it.
Cool.
So I'm just rolling my prowl.
Yeah, we're all gonna roll prowl at
Desperate standard?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's all you need to fill the clock. So it's desperate, so you should roll max XP again. If you want, you can push yourself, but hopefully you don't need to.
I'm good.
Yeah.
See how it goes. Nope.
That's okay. We're all rolling.
Like back into something loud.
Well, the whole idea of a group action is that we can cover for you. We take the best result.
Bump into get back into something.
Oh no, not me either.
Not going well.
All right.
Help us out, Hollis.
Let's see. Let's see what I can do. Oh God!
Oh my goodness! What are the chances?
What are the
That's
odds?
amazing.
All the dice.
This is fine. Everything's fine. Everything is
Wow,
going.
that's
great.
amazing.
That's oh sorry chat, you haven't seen just nothing but net. So unfortunately, Cross, you take 3 stress.
Okay.
You're the leader, and we all rolled 3 or lower.
Mm-hmm.
And
Do take 3 stress, yes.
Yeah. And yeah. Jesus. I was like, we got this. 4 dice. We'll get a success. Nope.
I mean, you didn't even find the place, did you? Because you failed to roll. I mean, I guess maybe you could still succeed, but I mean, yeah, it's a desperate roll. I think the obvious consequence is 3 more ticks on the alert clock. This time it's not Major Bowman.
Yeah.
I can roll to resist it, but
yeah, we'll get to that in a second. I'll just tell you what's kind of happening here. So this is Major Bowman, by the way, in case we missed him.
Hi, Dad.
The thing that is happening is as you are moving through these archives with the filing cabinets and the bookshelves, you are scanned with a red laser, and this big clanking Ministry of Discovery security hull kind of scans your spacesuit, and the little red light starts flashing, and it has realized, even if no one else has, that you are not who you say you are. Which is the reason the clock ticks up. And also this thing is now kind of on your tail. Luckily it's quite slow, but you can see it has a lot of automatic weaponry. This is like a tier 4 enemy. It's pretty scary. It's like 9 feet tall, and it's kind of slowly clanking its way towards you on your heels as you try not to panic and run. And you still haven't found the entry to the classified floor. Does anyone want to resist down those alert clock ticks?
I would like to, or at least help with resistance.
You have one more dot and mojo. So
I was thinking about. I might as well just use. I'll just use my last dot.
I mean, there's no reason not to use it, right?
Yeah. What am I holding on for? We're doing this right now. So I think with the mojo, I think I'm going to be like it's starting to be wrong, and I'm starting to I guess because we're in the archives and not out in the thing anymore, she can be a little more louder. She's like, "Excuse me, I am. What is wrong with your hole here?" Is trying to make it it's the hole's fault that her suit's not acting up weird and it's not her. And she's just trying to be like, okay, y'all need it. She's like, I guess using sway. Wait, no.
Well, you're just using mojo, really. So
Mojo,
you don't need to use anything.
Yeah, you just describe it. You just describe people believing in you and being cool. And
so she's making a little bit of a scene of the hole's wrong and my suit is perfect and fine.
I love that. And that remarkably works. Do you think you're hitting your flamboyant key there?
Oh yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Awesome.
I hit all 3.
Let's talk about that.
You can mark a key and mark XP. You can do that during the session, right?
During the session, yeah, up to one time total. So mark XP and mark the key. Now that key has been marked 3 times, you can, if you want, at some point turn it. So when you turn the key, you basically it's called deadlocking. So you abandon that particular character trait. So in this case, it is flamboyant. So in a moment of crisis, you might sacrificially burn your flamboyance, either by becoming really serious or maybe you lean into it. After that point, you're no longer flamboyant and you'll be something else instead, and we can talk about that. The advantage of doing it is that when you turn a key, you get an automatic critical success without rolling on whatever you're doing. So at a dramatic moment, you could kind of decide that Kitty kind of confronts her flamboyance, and that either embracing it or abandoning it gives her this kind of surge of competence, and you get an automatic critical hit.
What if she was more obnoxious? What if
you usually kind of either invert it or just go even further. So it's become.
Let's go further. Let's.
Yeah. I love that.
Going.
I think
the top. Yeah.
There are examples on the sheet. So for flamboyant, the examples are you might become demure or self-obsessed, but you can. Those are just ideas. You could. I don't know what another intensification of flamboyance is, but maybe it's
Let's
whatever.
go self-obsessed. Yeah.
But that hasn't happened yet, so we'll wait till.
That's
Get
just when you decide at one point. You're like, hey, instead. Now, Tim, you do that before the roll, right? You don't do that
before the roll, yeah.
Yeah. So at some point, you're just like, I want to crit this. I don't want to take any chances. I just want to automatically see this, and that's when you dig deep into flamboyant and you deadlock it.
Okay. So,
but yeah.
And the thing is, if you run out of stress, you're going to deadlock something anyway. So kind of part of the game to play is if you start to get up there in stress, you might want to just turn the key and sort of embrace it rather than accidentally stressing out, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because when you turn the key, you also clear all your stress. So you get the critical hit and you clear all your stress. So it's pretty...
So do I hit the deadlock now where it crosses out, or do I wait?
You just wait. So it's kind of primed.
We're going to make another roll, and you can just nope, we crit this. And then you basically get a free crit sometime in the future.
In my pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a move that maybe we should have done at the beginning before we all took a ton of stress, which is Hound's Instincts.
What does that do?
Well, I can push myself to figure out where to go next.
Nice. Love that. Just before we move on to that, does anyone want to There were 3 alarm ticks. Did anyone want to resist more, or do you just want to take the
No,
other 2?
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Fine
Yeah,
with
so you're 3 out of
halfway.
6, which isn't too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Karen. Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to do that?
Sure.
I think if you just do that, Tim, is it reasonable to you that just gives us last tick?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I think fictionally that makes a lot of sense. So take 2 stress for the push.
Yep.
And in fact, if you want to, I'll describe what happens next as you find the way down. But if you want to take action against this next obstacle, I think that push could count for that. So you could take the +1d or increased effect.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, after kind of struggling to find this place, you've still got this hull on your tail now and Major Bowman out there. So things aren't starting off that well. Definitely still in a desperate position. Does Cross just take the lead here and it's just like instincts kick in, or?
Yeah, I think that she just it just goes in front and like opens a random door and walks in.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, there is an unmarked.
How do you know? It's that one.
I mean, I think
you had it all the way.
I think if you just like that way and like started walking confidently, we were gonna follow. Like I don't think we're gonna, like we got this hole following us. We're probably all just looking for trying to figure out where the hell is it.
Yeah.
And at this point, piling through any door is probably a good idea. It does just look like an unmarked, like it could be a closet or something. Mm-hmm. But as you open it, you see that indeed it opens onto a long kind of office hallway. And at the end are steel double doors with several cameras around. And there are 2 security guards. And it's some kind of high security checkpoint. And there's a sign above the doors that says the classified floor. So you found it. But the next thing is to get through those doors. You still got your spacesuits, but obviously this isn't going to be the kind of checkpoint you can just walk through in spacesuits. So, yeah, what do you want to do?
Yeah, what sort of scanning do they appear to be doing when we I guess we have to walk up and find out. Like,
yeah, there's no one ahead of you to kind of watch how they do it. But
okay. Yeah, let's walk up and then we'll spend a flashback to figure out a cool way to solve this problem.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So that's what flashbacks are for.
You open this door. I mean, yeah, as soon as you open the door, there's a long hallway, but they see you, so you've kind of got no choice but to commit to it. There's nowhere to hide. So you make your way down the hallway. You come to the security checkpoint. There are guards and.
Should I go first, just so because if I need to talk our way out, I can. If we need to do other means, y'all can.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Ministry of Discovery guards in kind of teal uniforms with like the caps on, and one of them kind of steps forward to hold up a hand and stop you, but they're being very polite. And the other one says, "Passes, please." And obviously they want some kind of. Do you have a pass?
Oh, do we have a pass?
Well, there is a. I mean, so there's gear on our equipment called documents, which are a folder of paperwork and a variety of topics. No, that's not what I was thinking. Subterfuge supplies, which is the guys get a selection of blank documents ready for a forger's hand, invisible ink, forged ID cards, right? So.
Or
yeah,
you could do that flashback with your friend and we can figure out what the passes are, or we can get passes.
I like that too. Yeah. So yeah, we could just try and use our forged stuff. Notably, we have tier 0 stuff versus their tier 4 scanning. So I think it would be not great. Like the quality of our forged IDs are not going to be fantastic. So yeah, I think it would be great to do a flashback to talking to Bexley and ask and getting a look at his ID so that we have something that is comparable, that is and this might be like a spend rep for a downtime action to acquire an asset sort of situation, which I'm totally happy to do. So yeah, Tim, I'd like to flashback to one time when Cross and I were staking out and we saw Bexley leave. We're both like, holy shit, I know that guy. he turns around a corner and the two of us are waiting for Karen, if you're okay with if
No, that sounds great. Yeah.
yeah. And I just sort of like look up and say, Sergeant.
Perfect. I think this sounds like a 1 XP flashback. Sorry, not 1 XP, 1 stress
Yeah.
flashback. Brackley is, I've got a card for this guy. So he is a deserter, I think is the description.
Yep, he's a deserter,
yeah. I think we described him, he's this guy from the movie Alien.
Oh, yeah.
And, you had your problems with the military, but he had even more problems and did desert. And I think we described how it was it sort of like a plea bargain sort of situation to get out of Iron Hook or something that.
Yeah, I don't think Hollis knows this, but the sort of rationale that we had was that Brackley was probably court-martialed for being a deserter, and this was the alternative to going to Iron Hook. Was instead you can be part of this experimental. He was an airship captain, so he has sort of flight skills already. So it would make sense for them to pick him as a candidate.
Cool. And he notably is a contact, but not a friend. So it's not like he has a particularly friendly relationship with you. He's not like your BFF or anything.
I don't know about that, Tim. On my thing, it does say
dangerous friends. It
says difficult friends. Yeah.
Difficult friends.
But yes,
okay,
you're
he's
right.
a difficult friend.
He's not my uptick. He is. So we're not, blood brothers. Bosom. Yeah. But.
Yeah. Okay. He sees you and says, sort of stops reluctantly. Hollis.
Brackley, I thought you were going to rot in Iron Hook.
No, that's what I thought, but found a better way out. Got a new gig.
I have bad news for you about this gig.
Yeah. Assuming he's willing, I think we cut to the three of us sitting in a cafe and kind of debriefing him on what we've learned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's not going to be a you by the time this thing is done.
Yeah, he's like rubbing his eyes. He believes you, but also he doesn't the alternative for him is going to Iron Hook, so he doesn't really love that either. So this is just bad news.
Yeah,
all around.
I think there's an out for you. It may be out of the frying pan into the fire again, but the palace wants knowledge of what's going on. So if we can get you and the other pilots out and debriefed by them, I think we can ask them for protection.
You think
I don't know that the palace is the most trustworthy, but I know that they don't immediately plan to either A, throw you an Iron Hook, or B, rip out your resonance. So whatever third option they might have sounds it's probably better than those two.
Yeah, I think he just sighs and finishes his coffee, the dregs, and says, guess I don't have many options. What do you need from me?
We need to be able to sneak in, get information on the we need to get intel on the Blue Raker 5 project, and hopefully get all four of you out.
Cool.
So whatever we need to do to pass, I don't think at this point we know we need to pass, but
I mean, I think he would brief you
to get inside.
Yeah, and he would show you his pass. He can't give you his pass because he needs it to get back, and he just can't disappear at this point. So, but you know what the pass looks like. So what action do you want to use? Do you want to acquire an asset on this, or do you just want to do some kind of forgery action, or what are you thinking?
I feel like acquire, well, I mean, no matter what, we're starting kind of from zero, but I do think acquiring an asset makes sense. I'm trying to think of what would be the skill you'd use for forging. I think that'd probably be finesse. Are any of us any decent at?
Nope. Not me.
How about you, Karen? Is Cross?
Nope.
Cross, do you have any actions you think would be good for making a?
No.
Okay, sorry.
For the third time. God, not me. I think we could. We can spend to acquire an asset, which might be better. We're all just like very close to stressing out. We haven't even started.
Yeah, this wouldn't cause us stress if we were taking an action either. But I'm fine. I'm fine to handle.
You don't know that with how we've been rolling.
That's true. I assume that when we were trying to build it, it would probably be a fortune roll though, which doesn't have. I don't know. Maybe it'll have consequences. Yeah, I think we ask, hey, how long are you going to be out? And then I want to get, when he's going to be out for long enough, I want to call on Eves, who is our client sending us to do this, to help us get passes. Because I think Eves could get us better quality passes than we could get on our own.
Okay, great.
Since she went to the palace.
So are you seeing this as an acquired asset, or is this swaying Eves, or is there an action roll here? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think it's swaying Eves rather than us trying to acquire an asset. I think it's us trying to get her to give us a higher quality asset than we would be able to get on our own. Okay. So I will turn to Kitty and say, "Hey, Kitty, you think you can talk to Eves and see if she'll do this for us?"
Can I talk to Eves? Yes, of course.
Cool. Yeah. So that's going to be a sway roll.
Oh, me. Yeah.
And am I correct that this is a fortune roll? That we're just trying to see like how well she responds, how good of something she creates for us.
Oh, so it's fortune?
Fortune roll and take one bonus die because of all the setup, and you've got Brackley helping and all the rest of it.
So number of dice 2?
You can actually click on sway, and when it asks you what when it asks you the position, it'll say risky, control, desperate, and at the bottom fortune. So you can make a fortune sway roll. Yeah.
And the effect is
standard.
Okay.
But you do get a bonus die.
Oh, yay. Like that.
All right.
Okay. Good for
the Okay.
It's fine. Our fortune rolls, a 4 is middling, right?
Yeah.
That's standard, right? That's regular effect.
And so I think cutting back to the present, you have these passes with the 4. Does it just work? I mean, that is just regular effect.
Yeah. Seems like it gives us something where we could make another sway attempt here to.
Yeah, well, that's what I was trying to work out. Does this just get you past, or is another roll required? I mean, I feel like you don't actually work here. So even if she can get you passes, they are forged or illegitimate in some sense. So I feel like you've got good looking passes. That gives you an in, which you wouldn't usually have as tier 0 against tier 4.
Right.
So I do feel like there's one way action needed just to kind of get past, whether that's sway again or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But you will have standard effect because of what you see.
Because of the passes. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Karen, if you want to lead this action, whatever it is, I think Tim had said that your pushing would count towards this as well. Still.
Sure, I can lead it, but I don't have a ton of stress left, so.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a group action.
I've only took 3, so I can lead it.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't have to be a group action. You can just say, I'm going to sway, or I'm going to consort, or I'm going to, I'm going to do it.
I can sway or consort depending on what we're doing. I think sway may be the best because I don't really. I mean, unless I use.
I mean, you were the one in the lead, so it makes sense. For you.
I'm just trying to think if I use consort. I'm just trying to think like how that angle would be. Be like, oh, my dad's upstairs. Like, so hey, or
we don't want them to know who we actually
are. So I think I'm gonna go sway for this one.
Sure.
Is anyone helping?
Yeah, I'll help. Not that I've got oodles of stress, but why not? I'm going to help and say, what is in talking to Baxley, what do they call the test pilots? Do they have a military rank? Do they have a
No, notably they don't have a military rank. They are called test pilots.
right?
Blue Raker test pilots.
All right, so then I just say, "Come on, pilot, we've got to get down to we've got to get down to we got to get down to the test before before they do the next test. We got to move this along." So I try to like create an artificial sense of urgency.
All right, great. Mark 1 stress for that.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to push yourself on the sway, but a devil's bargain would be if you do mention your dad, that would add 1 tick to the alert clock for obvious reasons, but you get a bonus die.
You tempt me so much.
That's a good devil's bargain right there.
I do. Oh yeah. So okay, fuck it. Let's do it.
Awesome.
So roll with the 2 extra die then.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think you're back down to risky at this point because the things that made it desperate upstairs aren't directly in this hallway. So risky standard with 2 bonus die.
Yeah.
I'll take a 5.
All right. That's not bad.
5.
We are not. Last game we were rolling like all sixes. This game,
Yeah, not this one.
not so much.
No,
All right.
but yeah, I think with the urgency and like them stalling, I think Kitty's like turning up the charm and like flirting a little bit, and like Hollis is just like, "Let's go, come on, hold this up."
Yeah.
And so the consequences are twofold. One is 1 tick on the alert clock, so you're 1 away from the alert being triggered. You could resist that if you want. The other one is level 1 harm for Kitty, which I want to say stressed, but you already marked stress, so a synonym for stressed if anyone has one.
Worried.
Over her head.
Preoccupied. What'd you say, Mom?
Yeah.
In over her head, but that's too much wordage.
I like any of those. Overwhelmed is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
To resist, it's 2 stress.
No, you just choose. So which one are you resisting? Are you resisting the alert tick or the harm?
The harm.
Okay.
We already know about the alert tick. That's fine. We knew that was going to happen.
We're just right there. Yeah.
I think just resolve in this case because you're just trying to tough through a stressful situation. So just click resolve there and no bonus die.
And then.
All right. So 2 stress.
2 stress.
That's
and
fine.
you are not.
And you don't.
Overwhelmed.
Okay.
So you keep your cool. You do take a little bit, as you sort of suggested, you do take a little bit too long and say a little bit too much. And these guards are definitely going to like radio back up that there's something suspicious going on, and that alert clock is pretty close to tipping over, but it's not. And they let you through.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Yeah.
Everything's fine.
And so they let you through these big double steel doors, and there's another long hallway. And I think Get Smart style, there's like 10 different doors that you go through, one after the other, all different kinds. As you make your way down this hallway into a big elevator, then you get into the elevator because it's the only way to go, and push the button, and you go a long way down beneath the earth. It's playing elevator music.
I think while we're waiting and we're all like standing there, I think Kitty's like in like the back and those 2 in the front. And Kitty's like, I've been thinking, and I think our group, we're still testing out names. What do you think about Duskfall Liberation Front?
Duskfall. DLF.
DLF.
I like that it has fewer letters. It's a good 3-letter acronym. Duskfall Liberation Front. I can get behind it. I know you hated Duskfallians against.
Oh my gosh, we use Duskfallian still. Like that's not a word.
A word.
It's not a word.
Maybe not a word of your generation, but it's a word.
I thought
Okay, Grandpa.
Duskers against war crimes. I thought we were okay with that one.
We were, but Kitty suggests another one.
Yeah, let's get it out. Let's give it a shot.
Cross. You okay with that?
Sure, I guess.
Because like it's like we're liberating the world from like not having this war stuff, and like we're like standing up against like the ideas of liberation from war and like being that front line.
I'm here for it,
I
Kitty.
think it's
Dust Ball Liberation Front. DLF forever, or until we change our name. Okay.
again.
Update my character sheet again.
Same.
I've updated the crew sheet.
And as you say those words, and the elevator dings, and it reveals the classified floor. And so the vibes down here are kind of like a lot of exposed, exposed raw rock.
Whoa.
But then with like big steel beams and a lot of orange and stainless steel, and kind of modernism, like cool leather couches and kind of this kind of vibe as well. So all this kind of thing going on. It's very quiet down here. You don't see any other people around. And if you scroll on the board, helpfully right by the elevator, because this is a ministry department, there is like a wayfinding board that has the whole classified floor laid out, which seems strange, but there you go. And so you are at the elevators on the kind of the western side, and then there's a long hallway and a bunch of sections on this classified floor, including weapons research, neuropsychological research, cybernetics division, 2 separate wings, including the time distortion wing and the anomaly containment wing.
Cool.
And then spatial transference research. And right at the end, there's a break space and brainwave 60. Now, notably, you don't see the blue raker mentioned anywhere. What do you want to do?
Well, we know that one of our sort of additional requirements of the score is to plant a tracking device on the brainwave construct. So we could start there.
Yeah, let's do that first.
As knock that out. And so yeah, I think we're gonna head down the hall. Are there like open doors so where you can kind of see what's in these as we pass by them, or are they like way down corridors and behind?
There are short hallways, and most of the doors have the kind of like the inset glass, safety glass, so you can kind of peek into most of them.
Yeah.
If you want to have a little look. Any rooms in particular that you want to peek in, or are you just checking every window?
I feel like the spatial transference research interests Hollis. I'm not 100% sure why. Maybe that would have to do with the Blue Raker. Yeah. So I think that you would want to kind of poke in there, look in there, and see what there's.
Anyone else got a room they want to? They're interested in? It's fine. It's fine if not. If you're more mission focused.
I think Cross is pretty mission focused because she already feels like we are just about to get caught.
Dicey. Yeah.
Yeah, this is already really dicey. So she's like, let's just keep moving.
Do you grab Hollis and say, "Don't stay on target," and drag him to not look?
She's not going to drag you, but she is going to say like, Hollis, come on.
All right.
I mean, whatever you decide to do with that is fine.
Yeah, I think I take a quick look, but I'm not going to linger.
Okay. How about Kitty? What's Kitty's vibe here?
I think just dazing off for a second because she was just staring at everything, just like, oh my god, what is going on down here? What in this sci-fi movie?
Science.
This is not. She never was a science girly, and now she's definitely not for sure. But they have to, at least for anything, they do brainwave 60, right? Like, that's like the main thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the word she knows, and she's like, all right, that's where I'm gonna focus and just go to, because I don't know any of this.
Okay, cool. So you're making your way down. It's quite a long corridor. These are quite large sections. Before the spatial transference research is right down the end. So well before you get there, you do notice to the north an open room that's not on the wayfinding, not sort of marked on the map. And if you glance in that direction, you see that the doors are open inside is a circular room with metal walls, quite a large room, pretty featureless. In the middle of the room is a metal table with straps. There's a woman with dark hair and a black turtleneck currently strapped to this sort of metal table, and there's a huge laser hanging from the ceiling. No one else in the room. It's firing a beam at the steel floor, but that beam is, you can see it like inching towards her on the table. It's clearly some kind of like death trap.
Hold on, so there's some straight Bond death trap going on right now, and we just happen to stumble upon it. Oh, that's
You're amazing. Just walking by. Yeah,
I love it. I love it. I mean,
damn it.
We came here to get the test pilots out because what they were going to do to them was horrible. We can't let this happen. And Hollis, you're as Hollis blades. I also realized like Hollis is wearing a test pilot suit and he has blades. I don't know if like anyone noticed that or not. It occurred to me after we had this whole plan that might not actually work.
Also, I just realized the pun in Blades in the Dark, Blades 68. Blades. That's good.
Yeah. So maybe at some point someone's like, hey, when did we get a test pilot that was missing his legs? But also, like, I assume the sort of assumption I've been going on this whole way is that they assume that they're going to lose another round of pilots, and so they're just getting, we're the new batch, like
sure.
Everyone just kind of assumes that they keep coming. So
this is Blu-ray of
survive the laser. You're not even clearing basic training here.
This is Blu-ray of 5. So there have been 4 failed launches. So who knows how many?
Yeah.
All
right. So Hollis is just like we've got to. Hollis used to be productive. He is not anymore, but he is still curious, and so I'm going to mark the curious key as I go in to go see what the heck's happening and if we can stop it.
Okay. As I said, the doors are open, so you enter the room. Just a huge circular room, metal walls. It's pretty bare except for this death trap.
Whoever
set this, whoever set this up obviously did the classic thing of setting it going and then walking away.
Right,
as you do. The woman on the table definitely notices you. She's like sweating. The laser is pretty close to cutting her in half at this point. She doesn't know who the hell you are, but she looks over at you and says, can you help?
Hollis runs over to like one of her bindings. I assuming you said she's like strapped down. Is it metal manacles? Is it
metal manacles? Yep.
Yep. So he goes over the metal manacle, puts his hand on it, sees it, like obviously it's not going to just be trivial to remove it, and is like, what are the controls? How does this thing unlock? So he doesn't exactly answer her question, but he's clearly has the intent to help.
Sort of impatiently, panicking a little bit, she shakes her head and says, Strathmore, the Director General, he has the controls. You'll have to, I don't know, fuck with it.
Is the table like bolted to the floor, or could we move the table? Conveniently on wheels, and we can just
it's not, no, it's not on wheels, but maybe with a bit of effort you could.
I'm pretty good at working on machines. It's both my background. I was a mechanic in New Horizons before I joined the military, and it's also I'm good at wrench, and so I'd like to figure out the mechanisms of the apparatus so that I can push the right button and the manacles pop open.
Awesome. I mean, I think you're going to have to grab a hold of this laser and swing yourself up there a little bit, but that part is pretty easy.
Okay.
So what action are you rolling?
I'm rolling wrench. I want to
awesome.
Take control of this machine.
I think this sounds like risky standard to me. I think you'll just do this on a success. You have the right knowledge. Do you have any equipment that will help you?
Yeah, let's see what I could bring. That would be burglary gear.
Demolition tools, wrenching tools.
Yep, either of those would do the job.
Wrenching tools. Yeah, I mean, this is the right tools and parts for messing with electronics mechanisms. Yep, there we go. I'm going to mark wrenching tools. And
yeah, perfect. So with those wrenching tools, I would say risky standard. The risk is more to her than to you, so that's why it's not desperate. And yeah, standard effects.
Yeah,
if you get a success here, you'll stop it.
Tim, you described me climbing up to the laser. I had thought this would be some controls on the table or on the wall or something like that to like undo the manacles. Do you?
Oh, that's your angle. Sure. Yep.
Yeah, my goal is
just get her off the table.
Fuck with the machines so that the manacles open and then like the laser cuts through the table, but because if it doesn't work, then the backup plan is destroy the laser, right? Like that's the like we can't get the manacles open and we're in a worse situation. Then it's like, oh shit, now wreck laser. So I think I'm
okay. Awesome. Yep, I like that. That makes perfect sense.
I'm flipping switches. I'm like, okay, this looks like maybe this wire. And yeah, risky standard. Does anyone want to aid?
Yes, anyone aid? Do you want Devil's Bargain?
If you have one in mind, I'm happily.
Yeah, if you take the level 1 harm sweating, just it's just again the stress thing.
Sweating, that's great.
Good 60s film, just a sheen on your brow.
Just a sheen of sweat. Hollis, the actor who plays Hollis, is a very sweaty guy. So yeah.
Yes, is anyone helping?
Yeah, I can help. I mean, I would be helping.
Cool.
That seems like something Cross would do. I feel like she has a hard time, not helping people who need help.
Is this just the classic, like helping with the crowbar or whatever? Like,
yeah. So that's 1 stress.
Another pair of hands, kind of thing. Yes, that's 1 stress.
Yeah,
right,
I give you 2 little like clips, clips that short circuit a wire, and I'm like, okay, hook this on the green wire. Okay, no, try the blue wire. Okay, try the white wire. And I'm trying to short circuit whatever electronic lock has her is fastened.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh my God.
And we'll never know who that woman was. Oh my God.
I think there is the chance, as you sort of alluded to before, it's too late to get it off the table. I think that's just not working. It's not going to happen. The laser starts cutting into her leg. There's the smell of scorched flesh. She's actually doesn't react much, but you see her start to say, like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I think you have another chance to save her, but she is taking a pretty major injury as the laser is starting to cut into her now, and this manacle situation is not working.
Yeah. So we could resist it. Like one of us might have a mirror or something like that we like.
Yep.
We like stick in the way of the laser. Does anyone want to resist? I'm planning to now say, fuck this, jump up there and destroy the laser. Damage it in some way. I assume that it's a fairly delicate device. And yank the power from it, bang one of the internal things. But before I do that, does anyone want to try and resist the harm to her? I'm not in a great position to do it.
I'm not in a good position at all. I mean, I could also deadlock a key. Oh no, I'm not charged for it yet. So yeah. I could just willingly totally botch a resistance roll.
I can let me because I think if anybody, Kitty will have a mirror on her about everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see it in the list of stuff, but like I'm sure that's not going to take up space.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
I do sort of love the idea of Kitty having her compact mirror.
Yeah.
And like
I think she's like starting to be like, oh my god, and she's like digging through her pockets real quick, and she's like trying to get her compact like right in the line.
Yeah.
And if she can, get it shooting back at the laser.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I think that would be insight. Quick thinking.
Insight.
Click insight there. No bonus die.
Deception or understanding.
I recognize what it says to be. After I
would make an argument that you roll that.
Prowess, like just quick.
Yeah, I was going to make an argument for prowess of just like moving quickly, but
you can do prowess if you want.
I mean, I got 2 dice in prowess, so I don't think that.
Yeah, go ahead and roll it, and if you get a better result.
Yeah. If it's worse, well, oh, there you go. 1 stress.
One stress.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. So that happens. You flick out the mirror and redirect the laser.
Like, because it starts cutting and she's like starting to gag a little bit. She's like, ew, no, God.
Well, it's gotta be like very scary to hold this mirror where you're reflecting the
Oh,
laser.
her hand is shaking.
And
so
like you're
badly.
trying to keep it's like the laser's moving very slowly, so you have to track just perfectly with it.
Her
so it
hand
doesn't-
is just like, it's
Yeah.
like you can tell like it's shaking really, really bad.
Yeah, I love that. So you've bought yourself a few more moments.
Yeah. Tim, is my thought about the laser's composition accurate? That it looks delicate and easy to pry apart? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna leap up there and try and wreck it.
Love that. Love that. Is anyone helping this time?
Kitty, if you want to, I know
The
that
laser.
I feel like it makes total sense for you to help by redirecting the laser back at it. So it,
Yes.
Yeah.
I
So
think
mark
that
1 stress for that. I think this time it is desperate, it feels to me. You're jumping up at a laser. Desperate, like she might die, and also you might get caught up in the laser. There's lots of things that could go wrong.
Yeah, it feels like lots of bad things could happen right now.
Yeah. So 1 bonus die from Kitty. Are you going to push yourself, or do you want a devil's bargain?
Yes, I would like a devil's bargain.
What if you lose your wrenching tools in the process? Like you have to just jam a wrench in there and it's going to blow up or something like that.
Yeah, I love that. I love. Wrenching tools are always replaceable. This isn't anything sentimental to me. I think absolutely. Like I pull out like a pry bar, it like gets lost inside, and I just fuck it, and I just yeah. I love. I mean, that's literally mechanics have strings tied to wrenches because they follow the cars all the time. This is exactly the kind of thing that happens in real working on stuff. So yeah, I love it. I'm roll wreck. It feels like it's the right thing for this. I'm trying to destroy the laser. I just took a dot and wreck, so that feels
awesome.
Feels rewarding.
Desperate standard, 2 bonus die.
2 bonus dice. Come on! Oh my god! What is happening? Who turned on me? Everybody is terrible mod.
Wow, so many. Yeah, these odds are amazing.
Crickets.
Who designed that mod?
Yeah, who designed the we all roll bad? Well, I
mean, I think we have to be true to the dice, and the thing that happens is she is going to get killed by this laser. You can resist that, I think, as well. Hollis takes level 2 harm burnt. I think the laser is going to blow up, but not before she gets cut in half. And the explosion, you get like thrown back. And
what happens if I try to resist it, knowing that I only have 1 stress left? Can I still resist?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It just means you're quite likely to deadlock a key, but that's fine.
But if you roll a 6, then you don't take any stress, and you
you might not. And deadlocking isn't
it's always possible. Sure. I'll do it. I mean, I'm so close to deadlocking anyways. I may as well.
Yeah. Which one do you want to resist? Her dying or Hollis getting harmed? You don't need to resist me getting harmed. I'm fine getting harmed.
Her dying.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is one of those situations where even though that was 2 failures, you resisting her dying is like this will be successful, right? Because the laser blew up. So at this point, you have stopped her from being killed by the laser by resisting her dying, even though you haven't succeeded at any of these things. But I think that's fine sometimes, and it tracks here for me.
I mean, in this case, it was the action roll was to destroy the laser before it hit her.
That's right. Right.
We failed to do that. After the laser has passed her, it's kind of immaterial.
Yeah, it's immaterial,
right or not.
But the laser does blow up. I mean, that's where your harm comes from.
Right. I don't feel like you're negating the 1 to 3 reaction by saying the laser's gone now. Yeah. I
think the other thing is that this person is going to be quite badly injured, even if you resist the death part. But yes, okay. What do you think you're resisting with? It kind of feels like. I mean, maybe prowess again. I guess it depends. How are you saving your life?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do prowess. I actually just filled my prowess track. Can I immediately resolve? like turn that into?
Oh, sure. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, you could put a dot in finesse or rec, and then
I'm gonna put a dot in rec, because that's kind of what I wanted to have one in. I think she's just going to. I don't know if it would be right. I think she's just gonna try to like rip her off the table at this point. Like,
yeah, okay. So presume like maybe dislocate wrists or whatever, but whatever it takes to.
yeah.
Like I'm trying. You
force,
know, I'm trying. I'm doing everything I
Yeah,
can.
she's like trying to push the table. She's and getting in the way, and then I think that she is just like, I'm sorry about your thumbs.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do that prowess resist.
Okay.
Um,
All right, and
so
that's
you want
just straight, no bonus dice.
just straight, no bonus die. Yeah. Oh, look at that. That's pretty good, right? One stress. You're right.
that.
Oh,
fills my
that does still feel you. Okay, so you really need a 60.
Yeah, I really did need a 6. That's okay.
I think this is the classic, like, there's a big explosion from the laser. Kitty can just step back out of the room, but we already know Hollis is caught up in it. Are you resisting that, by the way, Sean, or are you just taking the home? All right, so Hollis is caught by the explosion. I think, if this sounds good to you, Karen, that Cross, you pull her off the table, but because you're like pulling her off, you get hit by the force of the explosion.
Sure.
You don't take any harm here because that was just a resist, but
Mm-hmm.
Part of deadlocking is that you're kind of out of action for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think you're kind of dazed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you know what key you're gonna deadlock?
I'm gonna deadlock stubborn.
Cool.
Because I think that makes sense with just this of she's just like, no, we're just gonna brute force you out of this somehow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Click the little explosion next to stubborn, and you can think about.
I did. Yeah.
Awesome. So at the bottom of the sheet, there are examples of how to deadlock it. So it could become the opposite, or it could intensify into.
I think
something else.
Suggestions for stubborn were, why can't I find it? Were flexible or pig-headed.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go even further to pig-headed.
Fun. Yeah, that makes sense.
Nice.
Great. Yeah, but you get it off the table as the sort of dust clears and your ears stop ringing.
And my stress clears. Yay!
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah, you're back in the zone. She kind of dusts herself off and limps to the side of the room and sits down back against the wall, kind of breathing quite heavily. Her leg is pretty badly burnt by the laser, and her thumbs and wrists aren't in a good situation. She sort of gathers herself and then looks up at the three of you and says, thanks. I guess I'm Agent 36. I'm with Blackthorn Park. Who are you working for?
I mean, we're working with the DLF, the DILF. The DILF.
There's no I.
Really?
As of about as you probably haven't heard of us, as of about 20 minutes ago, we're at the Dustfall Liberation Front. We're trying to save the test pilots from the Blue Raker 5 experiment. You just happened to be here, and we didn't really like the look of somebody getting cut apart by a laser.
Well,
Formerly the Dustfallians against war crimes. Formerly Dustfall against what was the first one?
Dustfall Association Against War.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, we have a running log in the crew sheet. So
as you're saying this, she grabs one of her thumbs and clicks it back into place with an audible snap, and kind of looks up at you and says, I haven't heard of any of those, but
yeah, we didn't think so. It doesn't matter. Let me take a look at that leg.
Yeah, we stay under the radar.
Are you better with legs than with lasers, or
what's that?
Are you better with legs than with lasers?
I'm better with legs than with lasers. Yeah.
Funny thing. You should say that about Hollis specifically.
Yeah. Well, I have lost 2 of them, so I must have learned a thing in the process, right?
You can't see them in the suit.
No, you can't see them in the suit.
That's what I figured.
So
I think Cross just gives you a look because she finds it funny.
Yeah, I think it's funny, but I like cut her pants open and like look at the wound and want to make sure it's not getting infected. I'd like to stabilize her. I have an anatomist, so I know how to do it. I know how to heal.
Yeah. I feel like there doesn't need to be an action roll here, but I think fictionally you can sort that out. It's not going to she's not going to be running around anytime soon, but she can limp away. And as you say,
but I figure I at least, bandage it and keep it from getting worse. And maybe I think, I actually, what I'll do is I'll say, here, take this. And I have a pocket full of go-go pills,
awesome.
which are, probably amphetamines or some other sort of like upper.
For sure.
That will make her feel like her leg is okay long enough to get out of here. So
and Kitty was gonna go for her drugs and then sees that Hollis already got his out, so she just puts hers back.
Yeah, it's for medical purposes.
Yours are sleepy time drugs, aren't they?
What if she
downers?
Okay.
Yeah, she kind of raises her eyebrows at being given a random fistful of pills from your pocket, but then she just says, "Well, doctor's orders," and knocks them back.
Yeah.
And she says, "Yeah, thanks again." She's feeling a bit more herself now. She says, "Whoever you are, is someone paying you?"
Yeah, we're being paid ostensibly by the palace to find out information about this, but we're not. We're freelancers right now. We know Blackthorn Park and the palace aren't exactly friendly with one another, but
yeah, it's fine. It's all part of the game. Look, whatever they're paying you, we'll match it. But I want you to blow that rocket up. And she looks across the room to a duffel bag, black duffel bag, and she says, that bag is full of explosives. I'm sure the palace don't want you to blow the rocket up, but if you do it for us, we can match whatever they're paying you. And I would do it myself, but I don't think that will be possible now.
So Tim, I didn't mean to do this at all. I just thought the go-go pills sound like they would be uppers, but now I'm reading the description of them. Xanthopharm's finest uppers for when you need pure explosive energy. You'll run your mouth. What do you say that you didn't mean to? And take the passing harm jittery when they wear off. So just throwing that out there that she might share more than she otherwise would on these with these pills. That was not my intent at all to use them as fruit syrup, but I just read it and I was like, holy shit, that's perfect. So
I mean, I think this situation is what is the effect of those drugs, which is that she doesn't know you're working for their enemies, but she's kind of like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Do you want to do this job for me?
Yeah, I mean, I grabbed the explosives. I don't know that we're going to be able to do it or not, but so are you coming with us, or are you exiting stage right?
No, I think it's time I leave, but good luck. Try not to get yourselves killed. If you pull this off, the palace will come for you, so watch your backs. And
right.
Thanks.
There's two guards. She probably knows, but there's two guards on the way out, and
yeah, you do get the sense she's better at this than you are.
I think a lot of people are, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm somewhat wondering if one of us should give her our flight suit to have a better chance of sneaking out, but it seems like she's got this under control. So I do think by this point, Hollis has removed the helmet, though, just because we're no longer trying to sneak around and being able to talk to people, see people face to face. Also, I don't think he can do medical stuff with the big gloves on, so he must have taken the gloves off to do the wrenching stuff and whatnot. So he's already halfway out of this fucking suit.
So that's it. So yeah, I guess you've agreed to this. I mean, we'll see what happens in the finish, but I mean, you're not going to get paid by both factions, I don't think, unless you pull something really tricky. But
yeah. Karen's looking like we don't know what we can pull off.
Doing the algebra,
Maybe.
Yeah.
So presumably you continue on down the hallway towards Brainwave 60, right?
Yeah.
As you pass the what was it called? The spatial.
I think at this point I'm no longer. I said I was going to peek in the window of spatial transference research. like at this point, I feel like I'm probably back on focus, even though
Okay.
Sean would love to see what's in there. I feel like Hollis would be like,
Yet another person. Every one of these rooms.
yeah, it's another person with
Another
the
death trap.
Jesus.
All over again.
As you pass the time distortion wing, this is a leading question, but which of you has the thought that maybe you should check out the time distortion wing? Just a passing thought.
Sure.
Does Kitty have passing thoughts? I don't know. When it comes to
Sure.
science, no.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah.
So is this Hollis again?
Yeah. If I'm not
Right.
looking at the spatial transference,
Yeah,
system,
yeah.
I might as well look at the.
So you look the other direction.
As you look that way, Hollis, as that thought crosses your mind, a rippling psychedelic blast of light appears right beside your group in the hallway. Opens into like a portal. Stepping out of that portal is Hollis, except the flight suit is riddled with bullet holes, bleeding heavily, blood coming out the mouth. The flight suit's on fire. He's holding like a doohickey in his hands, like it's like a walkie-talkie, but it has like an antenna and a Geiger counter and a little watch face attached. He steps through the portal closes, he falls to his knees again, bleeding from the mouth, dying. And he just says, "Not that way." And then falls over dead and drops the doohickey on the ground.
God damn it.
Shit.
What? Oh my
Not
God.
which way.
What's
Was
it
it
doing?
clear what he
Like,
indicated? I mean, I run to myself and look at him and try and see if he can be resuscitated, but I assume that he is beyond.
No, he's very much dead. Yeah, multiple
much
gunshot
dead.
wounds. Yeah, and on fire.
Yeah.
The doohickey is apparently little lights on. It's still working if you want to grab that.
Yeah, I pick up the doohickey.
All right, you've got a timed doohickey. You can note that down at 0 load. You can just tell from the little glowing lights. It had like 6 glowing lights, and it's got like 2 little glowing lights left, and you think it's probably got 1 use left. You don't exactly know how it works, but it seems reasonable to assume because it has like a clock face that you can turn the dial. It'll let you create a portal that jumps back or forward in time, like you're not quite sure, but maybe 30 minutes up to a maximum. The important thing to note is that it doesn't change time around you. It's a portal you step through. So if you step back 10 seconds, there's going to be 2 of all of you. In this case, there's no paradox because your version of Hollis stepped backwards and then died. So there's still only 1 Hollis in this timeline, right?
Right.
But think about how you use that thing, because you could create strange situations,
oh boy.
which may or may not be a problem. But this thing has like 1 use, and you got a time doohickey.
Great. Time doohickey.
Is it DOO-HICKEY?
I'm sure it's in Webster's.
Yeah. And to be clear, Hollis was indicating the time distortion ring. Don't go into the time distortion ring.
Okay. I was telling myself that, or us that.
Mm-hmm.
DOOHICKEY is how I'm spelling
I
it.
got it right.
Perfect. That's what I have it noted down as.
Yes. Time doohickey. 30 minutes of time travel. 1 time. I look at it, I look at him, and I'm like, I guess we do what I said. I guess we do what future me, hopefully future me. I guess we don't go down there.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think
The
we all
fuck?
do that.
Do you do anything with the dead body, or just leave it in the hallway?
Oh, I definitely think we should use the dead body as a way to like this. I don't know that Hollis.
Hey, we got an extra suit.
I don't know that
That's
Hollis
true, it's a
would
little
be this mercenary, but I think we should leave it here for now. But Sean is thinking later when we need to figure out how the hell we get out of here and have some sort of like, oh, they died on the way out. Like Hollis, this is a dead Hollis that like
Body double. Perfect.
Kitty was just gonna toss the body back into the hallway. Just keep running.
Yeah. I think are there? Yeah, I think at this point, like this place seems abandoned and there isn't anybody walking around in here. I don't think we need to like hide it immediately. Like there was a person about to be cut up by a laser and no one was around to like give a shit.
They
So
weren't even there to monologue. They just left.
I think
Also, that laser exploded and no one's come running. So it seems like
right. So I don't think we need to do anything with future Hollis just yet.
Okay.
Okay.
We got to keep our eye on the prize. All right, let's not go that way.
So yeah.
I'm beginning to really think that you have it the right of it. Just stick with the plan. Don't get distracted. No more lasers. No more time distortion.
Yeah.
Let's just get to the pilot.
Don't even look in those doors. Yes,
Don't
probably
look.
good idea.
Don't even acknowledge them. They just don't. They're not there. They don't exist. We have one goal, and one goal only. Well, right now, until we can find how to get to the rocket, but still, one goal.
We actually have 3 goals. Get the pilots, plant the tracking device,
Oh yeah.
possibly destroy the
Articles.
So showing great restraint, you ignore all these other wings and rooms.
I mean,
full
they're
of-
so fascinating, and yet, yeah.
and you make your way to the end of the classified floor, which ends in basically a dead end. To the kind of north is a little like break nook, if you know what I mean. Like not a full room, but just like a stand-up counter. There's a rubber plant. There's a vending machine, coffee machine, microwave, a small fridge, and a single little coffee table with 2 chairs. That's the break space.
Love it.
Opposite that is another little, again, not a whole room, but a little sort of like nook or enclave kind of thing. And in that space is a huge, it's all taken up by one big computer, which is reel to reel. It's bright yellow. It looks like this.
Oh my god.
Cool.
And even though you're wearing your uniforms and everything, as soon as you, so a big yellow reel-to-reel computer. As soon as you step in front of it, the reels start turning, and Brainwave 60 says, "Oh, a heist, is it? I see you've sent your top minds. Oh no, help." What do you?
Is he sarcastic?
Sassy computer.
I feel like this robot is being sassy with us. Look, I just saw. I'm Fire and the Siren pointed out the fact that we just did not. We just completely glossed over the emotional impact of watching myself die. So I will. It's a good point. I did just sort of like immediately skip on. So I think. Look, I just saw myself die. So I'm not ready to get any sass from a tape recorder. Tell us where the pilots are, or you're going to start losing parts. And I just go open and I just like open up one of the cabinets because we have a tracking device. We want to plan on this. So I am.
Yeah.
Don't you think that seems a little rash? I'm connected to every alarm system in the building. Let's talk like
people, because obviously we're not people. You're not people. So.
Yes, well, obviously I am. Yes, let's start at the beginning. I am Brainwave 60, a state-of-the-art spark mind intelligence. I can complete 1,000 cycles in the time it takes your human mind to complete one. I should probably report your presence, but I am curious. What are you doing here?
It's been asked to us by a lot of people, Brainwave 60. I am a human intelligence capable of doing profound amounts of violence that could destroy this entire building. As I assume that you have some sort of visual receptors, and you can see this giant thing of dynamite that I have, this giant bag of explosives that I have.
Kitty Van avoids it. Just
yeah. So perhaps we can both assure each other's mutual destruction, and we should talk. I assume that you, even as a spark mind intelligence, whatever that means, don't particularly like the idea of being blown from here to Kingdom Come.
Well, I'm glad you can infer that at least. I do not love being blown to Kingdom Come. Are you trying to make an action roll, or do you want to just let this play out a bit?
I mean, I'm kind of angling for a command I'm kind of angling for a command to get it to tell us where the test pilots are, because we still don't know that. But we can keep talking it out and wait till there's a moment of tension before the dice roll, if you'd like. If there's more that it's just going to say freely.
Well, there is something it proposes.
Yeah.
I'm happy for the action roll for the intimidation. I think that makes a lot of sense. As you are saying that, it says a counter proposal if you have the patience. I happen to enjoy the game of red check, and in fact, you notice there's a red check board set out in front of it. I challenge one of you to a game, and if you win, I'll tell you what you want to know. And just for the purposes mechanically, Kitty has an ability called Yeah Baby, and it's
Oh no!
when you agree to an NPC's proposal, even though it complicates or counters the crew's goals, everyone on the crew marks 1 XP while you clear 3 stress. So I think this could count for that if you wanted to, but you certainly don't have to.
No, that makes sense.
Oh,
That makes so much sense. She'd be like,
so good.
"Oh my god, a game on a computer! Come on!" And she just like plops down and like crosses her legs. She's like, "Let's just get this over with."
Kitty, are you a red check expert?
I mean, like I played some as a kid, and like I got put into like a red check camp, and like I did some tournaments as a child, but like I'm not like
I
the
won some
best
gold
at it.
medals.
No big deal.
Love it. Love it. All right, so we all mark, Karen, you and I each mark XP, and Kitty, you clear 3 stress, which is great.
As you sit down, the reels do a little spin and forwards and backwards as Brainwave is thinking.
So
and it says, excellent. I don't think this will take long.
Yeah, because you're gonna lose.
Hey, Brainwave, can I call you just Brainwave?
I prefer Brainwave 60.
Listen, Brainwave, you haven't called any type of security yet, which seems to me like maybe we're on the same side more than you think, in that you're not interested in what's going on here. You're clearly bored. You're clearly starved for attention and or friendship, really. What if we take you with us? Are you on rollers? Can we just wheel you out of here? I mean, it seems like you want something more than just playing a game.
I do mainly enjoy the game, I have to admit. Being friends. Do you have what is your name?
Cross.
Cross. Pleased to meet you. I am Brainwave 60. Do you have a pet, Cross?
I do.
Are you friends with your pet?
Yes, I am.
Curious.
You weren't expecting that answer.
I was not. Seems to me that a higher form of intelligence cannot truly be friends with one of such a magnitude smaller, but perhaps you will surprise me. Let's play the game, and then we will talk rollers or similar.
Kitty's just like, what if we took Brainwave 60 to the disco?
I'd like to say that so far, all of Cross's solutions to things are, can we just roll it away? It was the table.
Is it on rollers?
With Brainwave, she's like, why don't we have more wheels? Get everything on casters right now.
We're just gonna start bringing in dollies to everything we go.
She's just gonna roller skate. Kitty, doesn't Kitty have roller skates?
I'm sure we've talked about that.
I'm sure Kitty must have.
Probably.
That was mentioned.
They're probably roller skates, not blades.
So,
yeah.
Tim, one of the reasons why I was opening up the thing and looking like I was gonna, making these sort of threatening gestures is my goal was to plant the listening device on it.
Oh, I love that. Yep.
While making it look like, oh, I'm threatening to blow you up, but really I want to plant that's why I kind of came in with such gusto of like, I can tear you apart if I want to, just as an opportunity to open it up and plant the listening device. Can I do that while the game's
while we're talking, I can be the distraction.
Yeah,
for sure. What action are you rolling?
I think it's prowl. I'm just trying to slip it in.
Yep. And is Cross helping with the distraction?
Yeah, I'll spend a stress to help you because I'm talking to it.
Awesome. Do you want to push yourself? Do you want to devil's bargain?
I would love a devil's bargain if you have one in mind. I was trying to think of if I had an idea for one, but
I think the devil's bargain is 2 heat. which is that eventually this bug will be found and it will be traced back to you in one way or another. Basically, you're involved in like some pretty high-level espionage, and by placing this, maybe you leave some fingerprints, maybe you leave some other kind of identifying information. Maybe you accidentally tell Brainwave 60, the name of your organization, but
Yeah.
Change it tomorrow. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I like that. I think that the way this manifests is probably as Hollis is trying to keep Brainwave distracted. I'm probably sharing a little bit more than I should. And so that's hopefully keeping Brainwave's focusing on the game, and Cross is distracting it, and like we're all sort of like yammering at it, which it's 1,000 cycles per unit compared to R1. I'm sure it can keep up with, but that is all to keep it from noticing as the bug gets planted. So
perfect. Yeah. All right. Yep. Prowl with 2 bonus die. Risky standard.
Risky standard 2 bonus dice. Finally.
All right.
Even then, still not a 6, but I'll take it.
Mm-hmm. Have you rolled a 6 once this game?
I don't think
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Which means you're due some good luck, surely. Is that how it's
Do
working?
some good luck, right?
You say this, and yet,
yeah.
I'm marking the heat. Or did someone else just mark the heat?
I
marked. Okay, great.
Yeah, there's no 6s at all.
Yeah. All right.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. What are we talking consequences here?
Risky level 2 harm zapped. Brainwave 60 just has. I don't think you succeeded here, so Brainwave 60 isn't aware that you planted a listening device, but is growing impatient, and there's like a little self-defense. Like you've got your hand in the innards of this computer, and you get an electric shock.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Do you want to resist it or anything, or just take it? All right, just pile that on. Nice.
Yeah, just piling on harm.
Yeah. See, there's that kind of loud electric bang, a little bit of smoke, and Hollis kind of steps back sharply. Yeah.
Yeah. I have military discipline, but this is not combat. So I don't feel like it's right to use that for this. So.
You have planted the device. Now, Kitty, what action are you rolling for this game of Red Check?
So typically it'd be like what? Survey or...
Yeah, I don't think there's really like a game playing action. So
study.
Yeah. I guess it depends how you go about it. Like study or survey can make sense.
However, here goes nothing.
Nice.
I like I said, I have some past. I have some things. I have some awards maybe in the house at my dad's mansion that show me winning like 5 years in a row.
Yeah.
So it's not. I don't think I've really. I mean, I probably convinced people like maybe as a kid I was just very charismatic as a child, and so like they convinced me like how to do that. I convinced people back in the day how to do it. So I just remembered how they taught me how it happened. So it wasn't at a party per se, but it was just like me convincing people hey.
I mean,
I love that.
Yeah.
Mo, I want to make an argument that you can just straight roll sway for this because sway somebody with charm, logic, deception, disguise, or bluff. Like this could just totally be you being like, oh, I look like I'm a ditz, but I'm actually a genius at this game, and you're hustling and bluffing Brainwave 60 into making a bad move. That's like, oh, I could because it's already underestimated you. It's already been like, oh, this will be easy, and so I love the idea of you just like playing into its overconfidence, and then
I agree. Yeah. So almost like a poker technique, right? Like your social
like, oh my god, what does this heart mean on this card? I don't understand.
Exactly.
What is the A?
Yeah, 100%.
Are A's high or low? Yeah.
Yeah. What does it mean when I have like 5 faces cards? What does that mean?
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Roll sway. Do you want to push yourself? Is anyone helping?
Oh, I will push myself.
Is this Cross's distraction again, or someone else?
I would point out, Kitty, this might be a great time to just decide if you were going to do it. You don't have a ton of stress, but if you wanted to deadlock Flamboyant.
Yeah. Oh,
that could be fun. I will also say this is This is reasonably low stakes. I mean, you
Yeah,
guys
okay.
haven't even
So
got to the rocket
stakes.
yet.
I will take the roll then.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna push myself. So like
Roll the
yeah.
dice. Roll the dice.
You're going to push? All right, take the 2 stress. Is anyone helping?
Let's see if I can help.
Because I was gonna take that stress anyways for the here goes nothing, but since we're
No,
I'm
that's my point.
sway-
I don't think you need to take 2 stress for something. I think you could just use sway for this.
Yeah, and
It's
I'm pushing
usually
myself, so I'm also in turn using 2 stress.
Right, you're doing it to push. Yeah.
Yeah. So risky standard add a dice.
Was someone helping? Sorry, I missed that.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I feel like this is
Okay.
kind of a 101.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. Yep. Yeah, 1 bonus die. Risky standard.
Hey! There it
There it is. There's the 6.
Oh, I'm gonna kiss you 6. Mwah.
Oh, I love it.
So do you just nail this game? How does this?
Yeah, I think she's like, okay, so like it's been a bit since I played, and like sits crosses her legs, gets situated, like her helmet's off. She's got like a lollipop that she put in her mouth, just to like study and like do the thing. Where she got the lollipop, who knows? And like she lets him lets the brainwave like do this thing. She's like, oh darn, I should have seen that one. Oh man, he went for my opening. But she lets him get have the sense of confidence that he's gonna kick her ass. And then as soon as like he does another move, she's like, oh well, I don't know what to do. Oh, but I could do this, and she just cleans house.
Love it.
And after you say checkmate or whatever the equivalent is, red check maybe. There's just a long silence, and it really feels like you're just playing against a reel-to-reel computer as the 2 reels just like click and spin, and there's like no response for a long time. And then finally Brainwave 60 says the vending machine opposite the code to input is 326100598244 hash. I think you should go now.
Thank you. And like she gets up. It was great. See you around.
Wow.
I just sort of raise the bag of demolitions, like cheerio.
Cheers, mate.
As you head over to the vending machine, the last thing Brainwave 60 says quietly is just try not to get yourselves killed.
Oh, you care.
Kitty. Amazing.
Nice, yeah. So do you put the code into the vending machine?
Mhm.
Yep.
So directly opposite Brainwave 60 is this break area. There's a vending machine. You punch in the code, and the whole vending machine door kind of swings open like a secret door. Beyond is a travelator, like a horizontal escalator. And it leads into a long tunnel into darkness, hewn rock walls, fluorescent lights above. And why don't we just get to this next bit, and then we can have a break before the last bit, if that makes sense.
Good.
So the travelator takes you for quite a while. I think there's probably more elevator music. I keep imagining the girl from Ipanema. And eventually you come out in a big, giant, dark hangar space. A vast hangar, many stories tall. Imagine the walls and ceilings lost to darkness. It's kind of a circular space dominated by this huge, gleaming silver rocket ship. Let's reveal that on the map. The rocket ship is surrounded by gantries and scaffolding and fuel lines. I've got some reference pictures I'll just drag on. So the rocket ship, the hangar bay has this kind of vibe. So it's pretty kind of tight fit, and there's kind of gantries and scaffolding around. The other thing to note about this space is there's a lot of colored glass, kind of panes, whether it's glass or not. It's probably some like future material, but the vibe is like this kind of thing. So it's kind of a black space with these weird sort of, yeah, that's you exactly. A lot of like colored perspex almost, and the lights kind of sparkle off it. So it's kind of a slightly disorienting effect. So if you can imagine that kind of stuff on the ground floor, but then above you, this big gleaming rocket that heads up into the darkness. And there's kind of a mission control sort of space that kind of has this effect as well. So there's this kind of psychedelic effect of colors, this big silver rocket ship, as you'll see on the map. There are electroplasmic generators. There are fuel lines. There are blast doors way up ahead that presumably open when the rocket's going to take off. And around the circular space, as you come to the end of the travelator, there are kind of 3 sort of rooms, each behind this colored perspex. One is a kind of a lab room, and it's dominated by 5 big cryopod sort of tubes standing upright. Like people are going to get into those and then something will happen to them, maybe to do with the Lusk reform techniques. You'll see on the map, they're referred to as Lusk tubes. There's this mission control space, which I just showed you, which is classic sort of launch mission control. And then you see through the colored glass, the test pilot quarters. You can see gym equipment. You can see a flight simulator. You see bunk beds. And so there's a small kind of quarters and training facility for the test pilots. There are scientists everywhere in white lab coats working on the rocket, in the launch facility doing calculations. There's a lot going on, a lot of people. There are also huge exhaust ventilation tunnels. You can feel a sort of fresh breeze out of those. Those are presumably so when the rocket takes off, the exhaust blast goes through those ventilation tunnels. And just the other thing to note before we break is that in this room, as well as the scientists, there are some security hulls. You see a group of VIPs, and they are currently basically touring the space. They've just left mission control. They're headed towards the Lusk tubes. You would recognize all these people. Some of them are public figures. Some of them you know because of your enemies of the cause. And so the tour is, there is Director General Strathmill, who heads up the Ministry of Discovery. He's the eccentric leader of this organization. Looks like that. Accompanying him is Dr. Moorcroft, who heads up the Lusk Reform Clinic. You know him because they're one of your enemies of the cause.
Enemies of the cause, yeah.
Yep, so they are touring together. And the third person with them is, of course, Major Bowman. And so these 3 people are kind of on a tour of the facility. It seems like Strathmill is kind of leading the tour and showing the other 2 around. And you can see through the colored glass of the pilot quarters that the 4 pilots are in there training and doing whatever else they do. So that's kind of the situation as you arrive. You currently have 2 sort of competing goals. So whether you want to focus on blowing up the rocket or getting the pilots out or what you want to do, who knows? But when we get back, we'll find out what happens.
Yeah, sounds delightful. We'll be back in 10 minutes or so, friends, and we'll find out whether or not we just blow this whole thing to hell or sneak out or what goes on. So see y'all in 10.